All right. Just a quick vid today, just because I am absolutely crook as. Just having a quick look here. It's a little bit later. It's about 11:15. We've got Aussie CPI coming out in a few minutes. We do have, what have we got for that? We've got 4.9, I think was the last print, and I think we're expecting 4.5%. So obviously a little bit of a drop down in that. It's pretty much an expected sort of move. So, Aussie's been sort of selling off in that, sort of coming into this. So I'll get to the Aussie quickly in a second, but just a quick have a look at the DXY because we got that gap down yesterday and early drop off, and then it was just pretty much unrelenting, sort of like moving up towards the top side here. And this is what I was saying yesterday. Like we had a quick look and I said, look, this diamond top seems to be forming here, and sort of like that was the current sort of line, which I guess if you wanted to say. If you wanted to look at this one here, you could say, look, here's touch, 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 and that would have actually given you a key signal for a breakout move up to the top side here, but that wasn't what I called. I called that there was, with these diamond tops, I liked it a little bit more. If you have a look at how steep that one was, it's not real, that's not a diamond top. You want something that's like this, more symmetrical, and that's why you had this line drawn out over here, and obviously this line, the actual angle wasn't really based off anything other than sort of it's pretty much identical with this one here. So, and as we saw, it sort of came back down, touched this sort of rising support, and came back up here to the top side here. So this is looking like it's getting very close to giving us some sort of direction. The 2 wicks from last Friday's in NFP, they're the major breakouts of it all. So I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of like, hung around in this area. Top side, look, we've got a bit of a sort of resistance zone up around here. You could almost sort of call this, if you were looking for it as well, almost a little bit of a head and shoulders as well. So, I mean, it's these sort of things, they're all the same. It just depends how you want to cut it up. But, diamond top, break of this sort of falling, sort of rising support. That's your early indicator confirmation down where we've got this alert coming down the bottom side here. And likewise, sort of moving up the top over here, confirmation, realistically probably over that sort of 102.80. But really sort of once you take out the wick at the top here or take out the wick down the bottom there, that's where we're going to sort of see the next sort of direction move. Typically diamond tops are reversals, but as I said, DXY likes to sort of really set up like a technical sort of move to one side, and then people get set for that position, and then it just blows on and keeps on moving on. And that's where the pain trade is. It's, as I said, they never make these things easy. So anyway, quick one across to Aussie. Aussie came back down. Actually, let's jump onto this chart. I think was the one that I've been trying to sort of trade off. I tried to clear up the charts a little bit, but yeah, still looking for this kind of rounded bottom. I guess I mean these aren't perfectly sort of done with the angles, but again, if we do get to a higher sort of print or a sort of sell off on USD. Top side, that's 67.30 is obviously a bit of a resistance area. So, you know what I mean? Even if we do get some sort of push up here, you still got to contend with that. So this is the kind of thing, if you want to be looking for a top side move, it's really, that's your sort of breakout level to get above. And if we do get a high print, so something up around 4.9%, I'll say 4.8, 4.9, sort of showing that sort of, it's a bit sticky in that, or DXY, well, US dollar is a broad sense, and that still wants to be bought up. That's still your top end resistance area that you need to really get above. Downside moves and that, so if we do get a print, I mean, we came down, I can't even remember, what was it last time? Have a quick look. So last time we came down from 5.6 was forecast 5.2 and hit 4.9. So that was a big drop off. So again, they're looking for a bit of a drop off here. We're seeing Aussie sort of pick up a little bit prior to this, but this could really just sort of be a little liquidity grab. So, on a sort of smaller sort of move, could just be going up here to then just go boom down like this. Bottom side supports are those wicks from Friday, NFP, to see if sort of it can hold along there. This would give you some sort of a falling support area down along here. This channel isn't really a channel. I mean, we've got support up here, bit of the same angle coming down here. So I would say that sort of downside at 64.40s would probably be somewhere that we might be seeing some sort of a bounce if we do see a bit of a push down. But again, it all depends on what happens with the DXY. Okay, across to gold. Gold had a bit of a push up last night. Was watching this and that actually sort of closed a couple as this thing spiked and that. But again, you see you've got this little zone through here. It's resistance, resistance. It tried to go through, and it just couldn't close up into this area to confirm it. And as you can see, as it broke this, came back down here. So, you know, you got to look at this, that this could potentially be a little short-term bear flag like this. If this were the case, it's giving you back down around these previous lows here, this 2016. So gold as a whole at the moment really just sort of seems to be, you know, just, I mean, obviously if you look at this, it's, bang, it's moving down with, you know, this line's a bit off here, but obviously, but if I'm going to do it, may as well do it kind of vaguely properly, eh? But on crook as. Anyway, yeah, so gold at the moment, again, it's still looking sort of, you know, close above sort of 2040. We've seen that, you know, through a couple of these bits here, that this was a bit of a, quite a sort of bit of a resistance and that. We've seen its previous support, resistance, resistance here. We can put another little sort of support area just in through these bits down here. So that's your sort of confirmation underneath 2025, 2018, 2017, that kind of things. Probably your sort of your confirmation move to have a bit more of a downside here. Yeah, topside, you really, as I said, you need to get above 2040. Downside, I'd be looking under 2025 down to 2019. If you break that sort of 2019 area, then we'd have to sort of drag it back a little bit more, and you'd be starting to look down here because this was a pretty smooth little cut up over here. And this is the thing, is this is why it's always important to look left, because we saw, you know, I mean, even if you drag this down just an extra buck just to accommodate everything, you can sort of see that, look, this is support over here as well. So, you know, you want to sort of see this happen. So I would say certainly if you get down to this 17 area, that's where you'd want to be a buyer again. And we saw it last night, sort of bang, or whatever it was, yeah, Monday, sort of fired back up from this area here as well. So it's always important to sort of look left and sort of go, okay, you know, where have the buyers valued it previously? And if we break this area here, then this looks like a pretty straight shot down here. You might get some reaction off this little wick up over the top here, but there's a good chance that we test 2000's the main sort of like, you know, big round number kind of thing, but from just general areas where the buyers have stepped in most recently, would be the sort of 1980 area. So some downside for gold. These sort of things coming, I mean, if CPI is coming up this week, US CPI, so if they get a hot number on that, that's going to drive US dollar up. That's going to put pressure on gold. And these are the kind of factors or fundamental sort of things that you could be seeing to see gold come under a bit of pressure and push down. But yeah, if it can hold this area here, you know, we could be looking, even if it does push down here, you know, something along these sort of lines. And then, you know, again, this falling resistance would be your sort of key indicator to sort of get out to the top side. But yeah, certainly for the moment, I think your levels, there's not much point. I mean, you can trade the range through this area here, but it's certainly interesting sort of what happens when it breaks 2024 and then 2017 respectively. Okay, that's also absorbed. Copper continues to push south. Broke its sort of support over this area here. So yeah, as I said, this was on warning the other day, and this is a bit of a triple. You can see that how much it was respecting this sort of rise in support. This is on a 1 hour, which, you know, I don't really trade copper on a 1 hour, but you can see 4 hour here, retest, 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 and bang, and it took out that low. Now we're coming down a little bit here. So, you know, you can drag this down You can almost sort of give this a bit of a channel that it's sort of forming through here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we can get a little bit of a push up, at least maybe retest the underside of this sort of horizontal support, and top side of this channel. Breakthrough of this falling resistance will be our sort of indicator if we're going to move back up to the top side here. So you're looking at either this coming down and a continuation to the downside here with that, or if you can break through, a breakthrough here, down, and then sort of back into this little sideways range. So again, we'll have to sort of wait and see how this sort of plays out. Also China quickly. China grinding as it does along to the top side of its little range. That's this little breakout box that we've got marked up. As you must have it on pretty large thing, but yeah, look, consolidation box. I mean, that's pretty much it for China. If you break these highs over here, I mean, you could sort of kind of say that, look, it had a bit of a sort of falling resistance here, and it sort of comes through. Maybe a bit of a back test to the top side with this little spike down here. But again, US CPI this week, I think that's going to be the driving force. All right, cool. That's about it for me.